Yeah. Let me drop exclusive game from my exclusive mind. You be out here chasing fame, I stay steady on my grind. Zero diamonds, zero.
Thank you for tapping into the Exclusive Minds podcast. Today we're going to be having an exclusive conversation with exclusive content from Exclusive Minds. I'm your host, Rook, and
Joe?
let's get right into it.
13. Lucky 13.
I was going to say.
Or is this like the hotels where we basically just skip 13 and go right to 14 because it's bad luck, bad mojo?
So we should call this one like 12 point.
No more points on episodes because I can't put those into the thing.
No, yeah.
So it is episode 13. We'll just stick with it and hope that we get through the bad mojo.
Yeah, good morning, everybody, or afternoon, or night, whenever you guys are listening to this. We woke up to some bit of bad news today on the... we won't talk too much about crypto today, but we woke up to some bad news on the crypto chain. We'll do our weekly update. I think last week we kind of skipped it. So for today... Ethereum, I put that 200 in. I'm currently sitting at 147 right now. I don't want to talk about the rest of my portfolio. I think I'm down I don't even want to talk about it. Probably like over 50% at this point.
Yeah, it's been a bad month for crypto. I mean, Decentraland was down to $2.47, so I lost a third of my money in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah.
Crypto's great.
It'll bounce back. Buy the dips.
Shit, that's not a dip, man. This is a
you think this is like
catastrophic. No, so I mean, seriously. I mean, obviously stocks have been getting hit too, so it's not like this is this has been done in a vacuum. But crypto's actually taking it a lot harder than even the stocks. But yeah, it's ugly. It is really.
It's always
ugly.
that Q4 to Q1 transition that I start to see these giant hits. I'm like, okay, well, this is bigger than that, but. We'll see. I mean, it's a good time to buy if you haven't bought in already. But
yeah, I mean, I know we don't want to dwell on this. We keep talking about doing an episode free of crypto, but I did read an article, I think it was on one of the business news channels. It was funny. They were interviewing game designers and talking about their interest in incorporating crypto and NFTs into the games. And it was actually pretty shocking that all of them said they know about it, they're considering it, but only 1% video games have some sort of incorporation of crypto and NFT in them.
Really?
Yeah, which I thought was kind of interesting. I mean, it's one of those things. I guess Roblox doesn't consider their, Robux crypto, right? But and they had a bunch of comments from a bunch of the developers, right? They were all anonymous, but they were all like Ponzi scheme.
It's actually just Joe in the comments.
It was fun. They obviously cherry picked all the bad ones to kind of make the article, more clickbaitish, but. It was kind of interesting because they were it was a very low percentage, though, that are actually integrating it into the games or even have plans to. And a lot of it was, just concerns about its legitimacy, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Yeah, I mean, because all it takes is one bad apple. And then if they see one big, I don't know, crypto or NFT being a scam or being a Ponzi scheme, it kind of sheds a negative light onto the other one. So there's a bunch of examples where just because of one person's misfortune, it kind of makes this other one look bad or less credible in a way.
I just figured that, game designers and games in general, that would be the
forerunner. Right.
I mean, I'm thinking that that's in the sweet spot of the age bracket and kind of where this whole hype is coming from. And, and I figured that would be the leading point of the spear, and it wasn't. I mean, it's clear that there's a lot of hesitation and a lot of reluctance to, I think, go into it full bore. So that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, no, for sure. Something I read, though, recently, this kind of is the last last topic we want to talk about on that. Coinbase just announced that they have a NFT feature to buy NFTs directly from a debit/credit card. So I know you had the problem or the trouble when I sent you that link. It was you have to transfer it from a wallet to buy it off of a website, buy Ethereum to buy, something like that.
Yeah, and you can only use PayPal to actually fund the account.
Stuff like that, yeah. So now they have it, so they're coming out with a feature for debit and credit card people to just buy it directly from Coinbase, or I guess I'm assuming Coinbase.
The only thing that really frustrated me about that whole process was the one crypto that I kind of wanted to buy was Tron, right? Because I think that, I forget where it was. One of those guys was talking about it, and it sort of made sense. I don't know if it was
the Ethereum CEO.
Gary V or somebody, right? But someone was talking about Tron. And I was like, I was like, okay, I might dip my toe into a little bit of that one, just whatever. Same thing with Decentraland, just to test the waters. And that one's actually held up really well. Like the other day, it was actually up when everything else was getting crushed. And I was like, but I couldn't buy it. I mean, I couldn't get it on Coinbase. And I went to look, and it was just one of these archaic things where in order to actually buy it, you'd have to go through like 6 steps to sort of fund the wallet, transfer it, do it this way. And it was just, it got to the point where it was like, this is such a headache to get, right? And until that kind of gets resolved, it's going to be challenging.
For sure. Okay. The next thing, we had Twitter integration. So now Twitter implemented so if you have Twitter Blue, which is the premium version of Twitter, it's like $3. I don't know if it's $3 monthly or a one-time fee.
Who the hell has that?
So listen, Twitter Blue, now for NFT holders, it shows your profile picture as a hexagon if you verify that you own the NFT as your profile picture. So if you own an NFT, rather than someone screenshotting it like we talked about with the blockchain and posting it, you have to you could connect your OpenSea
so Twitter's
account.
Asking you to verify that you own the NFT before you can use the picture.
Exactly.
Right, okay.
And it validates it by having the hexagon, so it shows that you either link your MetaMask account or your OpenSea account, and it'll be all synced up. So this is just one of those integrations where this ginormous corporation has Twitter. The guy, Jack, he said he was doing stuff with Square. He's kind of moving towards that NFT world and making it more mainstream. But that's the last of the NFT news that I have for today. And
no, I mean, that's kind of interesting, at least that, there's some progress in, I guess, giving it credibility, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of interesting. But who the hell's got Twitter Blue? It's like paying for YouTube, right?
Well,
who the hell's, and I heard, that was the other thing. So I saw that TikTok and Instagram were talking about giving content creators the ability to charge for content. And I'm like,
that's the stupidest thing to
absolutely
do.
The dumbest thing. If you want to shut down your platform, start charging for it, especially that stupid crap. Right?
No, I mean the only thing I could see that being useful for would be like these quote unquote like gurus or financial gurus where you have to buy their like mentorship and they could only have like exclusive posts. But even for that, like half that stuff's like BS anyhow. So if you're just do your own research. You'll find the same stuff on YouTube, Twitter, Reddit, anything. You'll literally find the same exact stuff that they're telling you just all for free.
Yeah, and it kind of goes back to that conversation we had a while back about subscriptions, right? You get to this point where you are just like, okay, now not only do I have to pay for TV and I have to pay for podcasts and Adobe, now I have to pay for each and every person's individual content. I mean, it's going to get to the point where you're making $100,000 and $98,000 of it's going out the door for subscriptions.
Monthly, right?
Stupid, crap.
Yeah. So the next thing I have here, did you hear about Logan Paul and KSI coming together to make a drink called Prime?
No.
Have you heard about that?
No.
Really? So content creators branching out to bigger and traditional names such as Logan Paul and KSI. They had that fight. They had 2 fights. The first one ended a draw. The second one, KSI came out on top. They came together and they made a energy drink. Apparently, it's supposed to be healthier than Gatorade, Powerade.
Is this the thing he was promoting when he was doing the? Am I getting all these polls? I get these polls.
Which one?
What's the one that he was promoting when he was doing the Pokemon scam thing video?
Yeah, this is it.
Okay,
Yeah.
So
okay.
I did catch. Yeah.
So right off the bat, it had a very successful launch. Less than 2 weeks or about 2 weeks of launch. On Instagram alone, they hit 660,000 followers, where Gatorade has been around for
I get it. So
1.2 million followers. So they're kind of creeping up on them in the social aspect of things. I mean, there's obviously some more details here. For a 12-pack, it's around $30 before the shipping, or you could go to Walmart or whatever.
Wow.
Yeah, about $2.50 per can or per bottle or whatever. And then I mean, this is a great move for the both of them for a couple of reasons. I mean, $2.50, I think Gatorade's like $1.50 or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But anyway, it's bringing 2 people. So you have Logan Paul, who's like lifestyle, he's like vlogging, boxing. I mean, he's kind of like on the one spectrum, United States, Los Angeles based kid.
I'll tell you though, there are some really bad optics around the fact that he's launching this drink at the same time he was doing that whole Pokemon thing.
Yeah,
I mean, whether it's legit or not, man, the optics were just really bad.
So he used that to kind of leverage this. He kind of like boosted forward. He's like, help me get back my 3.5 million. And then you have KSI on the other hand, who's gaming. He's like reacting. He's a UK guy. So there are two ginormous fan bases, like one of the biggest USA entertainers, one of the biggest UK entertainers coming together. I just want to ask you for, your opinion. Why do you think this works? And do you think that companies like Gatorade, Powerade, Body Armor is like, do you see this kind of competing with them, or do you think this is a short-term play? So I guess the first question, why do you think this works?
Well, I mean, so obviously the social media influencer thing has been a successful model for a while now, right? I mean, you just look at the Kardashians, right? They're all making their money by doing makeups and cosmetics
Products,
and stuff,
right.
and then people buy it. So I mean, they have millions of followers for a reason, right? These people are kind of attached to their product set, so it makes sense. I mean, it's just an extension. The drink business, I don't, obviously I don't know it, but if you look at it, all these drink companies end up getting bought out by Pepsi or Coke or something. So maybe that's the play. Maybe they're doing it and hoping they get, they sell out like Snapple, or they sell out like, Body Armor and all these other ones, I think. What's the one that Kobe Bryant did?
Body Armor.
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, they end up getting bought out for billions of dollars, so you can't blame them.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see this being adapted as a Gatorade product or Powerade product, like you said, or Pepsi or Coke.
It's just like everything else, though. This is right. I mean, I get it. The differentiation is, I guess they have a fan base, but it's such a crowded market. Like, what the hell? I mean, you walk into a Wawa. For those that don't know, right, it's a convenience store on the East Coast,
like a
right?
gas station,
Whatever. So, I mean, you walk into these stores and you go to the drink section, and there are there's literally 50,000 different drinks. How the hell do you it's all brand.
Exactly.
It's all about the brand, right? It's not about the drink. I mean, I don't think anybody cares what the content of the drink is. It's about the brand.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you remember a few months back, before the Travis Scott incident, he had that seltzer. It was called Cacti Seltzer. It was the same thing. It's like a kind of like that crowded market. He was competing with like White Claw, Bud Light. Everyone has it anyway. So it's a celebrity drink. Long story short, nowadays I don't know if just because of the Astroworld event had anything to do with sales, but you kind of don't hear about it as much anymore as you would hear about just like White Claw or the other drinks.
Yeah, I mean, everything.
So I wonder if that's the case here. Like after a few months,
it all ebbs and flows. I mean, you think about I mean, I guess this is also coming from the liquor side, right? You had the Casamigos with that sold for $1 billion, and then McGregor did his whiskey or whatever, right? So I mean,
what's it called? Proper 12.
whatever it was. But I mean, if you think about it, like when that celebrity is kind of at the peak of hyping it and building the brands, I think The Rock's doing it with some sort of health drink as well. New, it's like a South Seas kind of thing.
They also had like Ciroc with like Diddy and
but
stuff.
I mean, as soon as it gets sold out to one of these bigger companies,
it kind of just takes a hit.
It takes a hit, right?
Yeah. Most definitely. I mean, I think this is definitely a interesting play. I mean, we haven't really seen anyone in this space besides, I don't know if do you know that like 12-year-old kid? His name's like Teddy Toys or Tommy Toys or something. But he's does like these reviews of toys, right? And he makes the most money on YouTube across the platform because he's kid friendly, which a bunch of these people are, and he doesn't nothing's age restricted. So he has the most money. I think he has like $20 million per year. Someone could fact check me on that, but definitely the top earner. And I went to the store the other day. I went to Giant right down the road, and I saw his face on a toothpaste bottle or a toothpaste packaging thing.
Yeah.
So it was on what is it? Kellogg or Colgate.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's like the only instance where I've seen like an influencer kind of branching out into, I guess, like mainstream stores. But I'm sure there's other examples I just can't think of off the top of my head. But I don't know. I think this is a good play. Both boxers, both kind of like athletic people. I'm interested to see how this comes back. Maybe we could do a follow up in like a month or so and see how that goes.
Kudos to them for building an empire.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
I mean, that's what it's all about. So.
The next thing I want to talk to you about is, did you see that Xbox purchase that happened over the week?
Microsoft, yeah.
$70 billion. Xbox purchased Activision for around like $70 billion. I think it was just shy of $70 billion. one of the biggest purchases in, I don't know, that I could think of in recent time. With this, so Xbox, everyone knows Xbox, the gaming company. I mean, they have a bunch of other stuff, Microsoft. They purchased Activision / Blizzard, which is like a bunch of development of like games such as like Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, Overwatch, Diablo, Tony Hawk, Spyro, Crash Bandicoot, StarCraft, Guitar Hero, Hearthstone, and Candy Crush. So now Xbox and Microsoft is kind of doing what Disney did to, I guess, like Marvel and like
Pixar
that whole
and
thing.
stuff.
They're kind of like
gobbling
monopolizing
up content. Yeah,
exactly. So I
know that Sony took a huge hit too when they announced it. Like Sony lost like $20 billion in market value, and it is kind of interesting because I mean, like for you, right? You're a Call of Duty guy, right?
Yeah.
And so now that Microsoft owns Call of Duty, I would imagine you're going to be second guessing buying a PlayStation.
Yeah. No, I mean, to be honest, if you're still gaming on console for specific, like for just exclusive, that's fine. But nowadays everything's crossplay. You know what I mean? So you might as well get whatever you feel is in your needs. Like for me, I had a PC just because that's the most reasonable thing. But like you said, this is gonna affect a lot of people's decisions. Should I get that Xbox? Should I get that PlayStation? So this is a huge move for Xbox, but also at the same time, like, is this a bad thing? Because now they have all the control, I feel like. Are they competing against themselves, or is this something where they are kind of like, all right, we want to make these things better. How can we make things better? You know?
I mean, they bought Bethesda, right, a few years back, and everything I read, Bethesda never really had issues, and I don't know if that's necessarily been improved by being owned by Microsoft. Mm-hmm. But I would imagine they're gonna kind of be standalone-ish, right? Yeah. So whatever is kind of transpiring today is going to continue to sort of be the same case. I don't know. I mean, I obviously don't have any real insight into this, but I don't. It doesn't seem like they're going to like pull it all into quote unquote Microsoft gaming and sort of completely tweak it and do something crazy. It'll still just be Activision Blizzard kind of doing what they were doing, right? It's just under the Microsoft umbrella at the very highest levels.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, a lot of people were speculating this is a like a Web3 purchase, kind of like going back to that earlier conversation. They're kind of, game development, Web3. We're all thinking metaverse. Game developers are the ones who are going to be the ones kind of pushing that forward. So is this kind of an overall or like an overhead for the future? Or is this just them simply just conquering these titles for the yearly releases like Call of Duty or...
Well, I mean, I think that I forget the guy's name who's the head of, Microsoft Gaming. He was talking about all the main franchises that you just rattled off, but he was also talking about a bunch of dormant ones that they're hoping to bring back. So, I mean, clearly content is the key focus. I think they own... Do they own... What's the Guitar
Hero?
Yeah, and I guess Guitar Hero has been kind of suffering and sort of...
And Rock Band, too.
Yeah, they were talking about bringing some of that stuff back or giving it more of a focus. Mm-hmm. So, I guess some of the smaller titles might get a little bit of a bump. But who knows? I mean, and then I guess the guy from Activision was talking about, because everybody's like, oh, you guys just sold out because of all this negative press on...
Like the workers.
Yeah, diversity and all this other stuff that's just been going really bad for Blizzard and Activision. He's like, no, that's not really what it's all about. He goes... Our biggest issue is Blizzard is the biggest game company. Yeah. But he goes, look who's coming into this market, right? Microsoft, $2 trillion company, Apple, $3 trillion company, Facebook with the metaverse, another $1 trillion company. So he goes, we're a big fish in the console gaming, but we're not a big fish in the big thing. And he said the other thing that was really driving this was their costs to hire people had gone through the roof.
Really?
Yeah. So because again, now you've got, Microsoft sucking people up. You've got Apple sucking up game designers, right? And he goes, the cost to hire a game designer had gone through the roof. So that the only way we can be competitive anymore is if we go with one of these $1 trillion companies that have, quite frankly, deeper pockets.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm very interested to see how this works. And like you said, I do remember hearing something about the Activision, like the company, like harassment stuff. Do you have any more information on that? Because I briefly seen it. It was just, is it like a mess, like crazy stuff?
Look, I mean, that sort of goes into...
And how does that happen in 2022 still? Like, people, like, everyone has a phone, everyone has, like, a camera. Like, I'm not saying you should do it, but I'm just saying, like...
I mean, it clearly was... In corporate America, that shit happens all the time. I mean, it just happens. And,
damn.
And,
it's unfortunate.
Honestly... for it just kind of caught up, right? I mean, it happens. It happened. People said things, nothing happened, and now all of a sudden, like you said, I mean, social media I think has really been the kick in the butt for a lot of these companies because now it becomes vocal, and so it's been a mess. I mean, it was an all boys club, and whatever.
Instead of harassing, they should come up with a better Call of Duty game because the past couple have been utter dog shit. Speaking of utter dog shit, no, this is my last rant before we go to you about your thing. So, okay, let's just clean slate, pretend this is a brand new conversation. Yesterday, I was talking to my mom, and she was getting furious. Out of nowhere, she's on the phone, yelling, da-da-da. I'm like, Mom, what's going on? Obviously, clearly pissed off, Italian women, crazy stuff here, okay?
Yeah.
So I go in, and she's like, the fast food people are being absolute assholes. Excuse me. Sorry for my language. I'm like, why? I go try to help her out because I'm more like tech savvier than she is. She's just having troubles with the website. I go onto the website. Joe, I'm kidding you not. The website doesn't work. And I'm thinking, are they purposely deliberating the website so people don't get the fast fade? Because you click through everything, go through everything. You click submit, and it takes you back to the starting page. So I'm like, I'm going crazy. I'm like, Mom, I'm about to throw this iPad on the ground. Like, I have no idea what the hell's going on. Go through it again. I kid you not, 4 or 5 times, it finally goes through. But I just was thinking to myself the whole time, first, this is a good podcast content here for a conversation. And 2, are they doing this to not give people money? Do you think people, like we talked about with the iPhones, do you think people, like these companies kind of purposely, like, do things deliberately, like have slow websites, drain the battery life to keep people going back or suck them in? Do you think this is a thing where they purposely mess up their website to not work? Because the connection was good. We tried it on multiple devices. What's the deal with that?
I mean, if it's a social media site and it's clickbait and that's how they're getting paid to try and kind of
get clicks.
Like, have you ever done, like, you click on something and then it pops up like 16 different windows and you have to like triple click things? That, clearly is intentional, right? But when it's an e-commerce site, the last thing you want to do is not take that person's money. So,
I don't know.
The way that works, right? I mean, we have a website, we sell clothes, but when we're taking a credit card, right, that goes over to Square or PayPal, right? So, it could be just a situation where their e-commerce people were having a web outage or AWS was running slow or something,
I don't know. It just kept it was just something where I felt like the buttons just were placed for different links. Like you would click finish and it would just take you back to the starting page over and over and over and over again. I don't know. It just was it seems so deliberate though.
Yeah, I don't know. You never know, but
yeah. I don't know. I would have to show you, but
unless it's a Russian site and then you basically just were charged. You just processed your credit card 10 times, right? So your mom's going to get a bill for whatever it was, right? $19.95 and it shows up 6 times.
I hope not, man. That would be terrible. Hopefully not for a fast food website for college.
I get it, but I don't know. But typically with e-commerce, you want that to go as smoothly as possible, right? You want people to be
able to do their transaction,
because that's how you make money, right?
Yeah, for sure.
If it's clickbait, different story, right? That's intentional, trying to make you dance around go through 15 screens to get to the content you were searching for. But no.
All right, so this is a perfect transition. Getting better with the podcast transitions. You said scamming with the website. What's up with the scamming on your end? What's going on?
Obviously,
Facebook
scamming's been around for a while. Maybe I don't know.
Karma for that CD scamming you're doing back in the days.
I guess. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I just haven't noticed it because I've sold stuff. So basically, what happened was, we were talking, right? I got a new phone, right? I got an iPhone 13, the big one, and so I'm getting rid of
my flex.
Yeah. So I'm getting rid of my iPad Mini because, quite frankly, I have a computer, I have a phone, and I had an iPad. So I'm like, I got 3 devices, and they're literally within 2 feet of each other on my desk. So I'm like, this is stupid. I just need a phone and I need a computer and I do not need an iPad anymore. Right. So
makes sense.
I'm getting rid of the iPad. So I'm like, typically in the past, I would have sold, these old computers and stuff on eBay, but eBay's fees are just extortion. Right. Mm-hmm. Like literally if I sell it, eBay charges me like 15%.
Is it really 15%?
13 point something percent.
But still like
crazy,
over 10%, right?
Yeah. And on top of that, right? So then
shipping, right?
That's what they charge. they charge the fee on the sales tax and your shipping costs too. So it is. So by the time you're done, you're literally paying probably over 15% of the actual net price. So I'm like, screw that. I refuse to ever use eBay. Right.
Boycott eBay.
I'm like, okay, eBay's out. And the other thing on eBay, right? So on top of that, right? That's what they charge, and then they dump you into collecting the money through PayPal. And PayPal charges you like 3.5%. So you're close to 20% out
Paying
of pocket.
A whole lot of gas fees.
Right. Right, exactly. So I was like, and it's always been that way, and I've just been stupid, I guess. And I guess maybe with the gas fee conversation, I started to take a look at these underlying costs, and I'm like, holy mackerel, talk about extortion, right? So screw that, right? So I'm like, okay, I'll just put it up on Facebook because Facebook doesn't charge anything. And so I put up the ad on Facebook, and I've sold stuff on Facebook before, but I guess obviously it was never electronics, right? So electronics clearly attracts a pool of sharks and scammers. Yeah. And I kid you not, I put the ad up, and within seconds, right, I'm getting these IMs in Instagram or in Facebook. Basically saying, is it available? I want to buy it. Just all these things, and I'm like, I just put it up 5 seconds ago. Of course, it's still available, right? So I'm looking at these people, and you can see their profile, and I'm like, they look legit, right? Some of them have some funny names, but generally speaking, it looked legit. So I'm responding back saying, yes, it's still available, and oh, great. I want to buy it for my daughter. I want you to overnight it to New York, and I'll pay you $850. Now, here's the funny thing. I'm only asking $650 for it.
Yeah. Okay.
So
red flag.
Instant red flag. I'm like, what the hell is... Yeah. So I kid you not, it wasn't one. It was
multiple, like
a dozen in the first hour. And it was all the same thing. I'll pay you way more than what I'm asking for it. And I'm like... So, are these people stupid?
So wait, how does the transaction work? Are they trying to pay you after you send it?
So with Facebook, there's no it's however you want to do it, right? I just assumed in my head, naive, right? I'm like, someone from the local town is gonna, or someone close by is gonna buy it, and I'm just gonna meet him at Starbucks and exchange cash, right? That's how I was thinking it was gonna go down, right? Or, in the case I said, okay, I'll ship it for $20 and you Venmo me or cash at me and I'll drop it in the mail, right?
For sure.
That's how I figured it was going to go down, right? And, but yeah, so I'm like 10 or 15 of these in the first hour. And it's all the exact same thing. Overnight it to me, give me your PayPal account and I'll pay you like $150. And it wasn't like I was asking them for this, right? So I'm like, are you freaking kidding me?
I would tell them to send if they send the money, I would do it, no problem. But like until they send the money, nah, you're not getting nothing.
I'm assuming that behind the scenes I would love to really get someone on here who's it's a shame,
like an
we could change their voice, because I'm like, is this automated? I mean, and do you actually find people who like sit there and go, "Oh my God, I just sold my X, Y, and Z for $100 more than I asked for it. How great is this?" Like thinking I just made, because I'm like, oh, come on, man. I was so furious. So I pulled it off, and I'm going to sell it to family, but I'm like, what the hell, man? Yeah, dude, put some effort. Like if you're gonna scam, like at least make some effort. It's like the crap that you get on Gmail junk mail, right? People still honestly think that you're going to get $18 million from some Nigerian prince. I mean,
so I have
come on, man.
I have a
Get
story.
Smart about this crap.
I don't want to leak their identity, and I don't even want them to. Don't even want to bring it up into conversation outside of this. But I know someone who bought antivirus software for an Apple iPad.
Antivirus software for an iPad
for $650. $600, I think. This was a week ago.
Why?
So listen, they called them up on Facebook. I guess there was like some ad or something. They said, "Hey, your iCloud or iStorage account
has been compromised, right? You need antivirus
for an iPad." And for anyone that doesn't know, iPads and all like Apple products, correct me if I'm wrong, they have kind of like built-in software for that. You don't get viruses on Apple products for the most part, right? So they called. They're being called again. I'm like, tell that person not to do it because it's an indirect contact. Don't do it. You don't need any antivirus programming. If you do need something, get what did I say, like McAfee or McAfee.
Yeah, there's like 4 companies that you are legit that you go to, right?
And it's cheaper. It's like $30 or whatever. They insisted on getting the package, and they bought it for $600 through PayPal transfer. And they were on the phone with the people. They even went as far as to call the Apple contact that's in the phone and to get on the phone with them. And it was like a whole fiasco. They're like, we wouldn't sell you anything.
Is this someone in your age bracket or some old person who doesn't know jack crap about?
Yeah, I won't say, but you guessed one of the two correctly. But anyway,
okay,
it was just like a giant mess. They were out $600 for an antivirus software.
Well, I guess this is the reason why these scammers do stupid over the top shit, because it,
I was so pissed because like it's like, dude, like we're thinking to ourselves like, who would fall for this until you know someone that happens to, and you're like, dude, they're the nicest person. Like, I hate to tell them that they just
lost $600.
Bro. Right? It's like, how many times a day do you think these people like scam someone out of money?
I guess. So I mean, but it's just, God, it's common sense. I mean, if you have an ounce of streetwise,
and the person's smart too. They're really intelligent.
Clearly not. Sorry, whoever it is, if you're listening, I apologize. But come on, man.
It's just
come on, man.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I like Apple for that reason, because like I've never had a problem with like a virus or anything with any sort of Apple product. It's different if you have a PC. You know, PCs, you could get a virus at the click of a link. You know what I mean? Where it's like Apple's kind of like more thorough. You kind of have to accept like an account on what is that called? Like you go to your general settings, and it's like an account that they put on there. But man, I don't know. I felt terrible when I heard that news, and it's like $600, man. Like that's an iPad. They could have bought a brand new iPad.
So bad. Yeah, that's really sad. If you said like they were burned for like $90, I'd say, all right, I get it.
Yeah,
but that's just stupid.
And it's like, I don't know. And all these things nowadays, like we talked about, like VPNs, anti-software protection, stuff like that, like anything, you can literally get everything to like stop that from happening.
So this scamming story got even worse. So this week I bought a trailer.
Did you?
Yeah, so I bought a trailer, and the guy I was buying it from he was very cryptic and kind of standoffish. Like, I said, we kind of agreed to a deal. He sent me some pictures, and I was like, okay, I want to come look at it, and if it's cool, I'll buy it, right? Mm. So I'm like, we're setting up a time to meet, and he's responding and answering questions, and his profile is kind of weird. Like, it was relatively new, and he had like 40 people, and there weren't any posts, and the names didn't match up. But generally speaking, typically when you get scammers, you kind of know, right? Just the interaction is just, I don't know how to explain it, right? But the interaction is off, right? And the interaction here wasn't, right? He was answering the questions and, sharing information, and it wasn't like cryptic. Like I asked for the VIN and stuff and send it over because I said, I got to get insurance. Like everything I asked for, he was giving me. But the one thing he wouldn't give me is, I kept saying, where am I going? He goes, well, do you know where, I think it was Greenville, PA. And I had never heard of Greenville, PA. It turns out it's just like Pottstown, right? It's an hour away, right?
Okay,
but I never heard the town, right? And I'm like, I look it up, and I'm like, oh, okay. And he wouldn't give me the actual address. Yeah. He says, I'll give you the address. I was going to go up Saturday, and he goes, I'll give you the address Saturday morning.
I've seen that
And
before.
I'm like, okay, this is, I was actually kind of getting a little leery, and was about to call it all off. And, the night before, he gives me the address, and it's a legit house. And I'm like, okay. So I go up, and as it turns out, right, he had listed his son, or he's got some kids, and they were doing they do motocross like professionally. And he had, I guess, put an ad up on Facebook for some of the gear that they wanted to sell, and ended up having all of the bikes stolen. And the cops told him that it was because you had it up on Facebook. You probably had an interaction, and you gave them the address, and they cased it and stole all of the equipment. So that's the reason why this guy was like so hesitant to give me the address, and he was also using a burner account. Like they made up a fake account.
Okay.
He told me, he goes, we made up a fake account because we were trying to isolate this whole thing, and this is what the cops had told him. And I was like, oh, okay, I get it. It all made sense as soon as he said it, right? I'm like, okay, it kind of put me at ease, but I was like, It was really, and I was like, wow, it's amazing what these people will do. And I was like, dude, you didn't have, like I said, you got to put AirTags on everything these days, right? Like all this stuff, like,
AirTags, really? That's the move?
Well, yeah, because so like if someone steals my side-by-side or someone steals the trailer, it's got AirTags on it. And you're not going to find those AirTags like quickly, right? If you tear it apart, you'll find them. But Yeah, so I mean, the AirTag will tell you exactly where
How
the
much
hell
are
they are.
AirTags?
$30 a piece or something like that.
Really?
Yeah, if you buy them in packs of 4, I think they're $99 or something. So
Damn.
$25.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. It links up to your phone. It shows exactly where everything's at
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Down to like it's like if you want to drop a bomb on somebody, just put an AirTag on them and
Yeah.
it's to the foot, right?
I had when I was detailing a car, I accidentally took the keys with me home, and it showed that the AirTag was tracking my location. It gives you like a notification on my phone. It was like, "Hey, you have an AirTag near you," or something like that.
Well, that's the big thing that's in the press right now is people are using the stalk girls and stuff like that.
Yeah. That's
Which is
terrible.
creepy, but yeah, I mean, Apple does have a built-in mechanism that supposedly if there's one that is not yours that is
Been tracking for
following
a
you
little while.
around, it'll at least warn you of that.
Yeah. That's crazy. I mean, so you got the trailer, everything went smoothly?
Yeah. So I mean, it was all legit and above board. It was just there was a lot of these because I'm pretty dialed into scams, right? And it was to the point where I was like, I don't want to do this, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to show up in some parking lot and some dude's going to mug me, and I was like, do I like? It was just a mess,
Yeah.
right? So it turned out everything was fine, and I get why he was doing it, and it's just crazy. I was like, man, scammers and
I mean, yeah, just
criminals
all it takes is like
and-
for a couple of them.
you all suck. If you're a criminal listening to this, you suck. But
have you ever been scammed out of like a lot of money before?
no.
I don't think I've had either. I mean,
No, look, I don't want to invite attempts, but I consider myself pretty street savvy. So
yeah, I don't know. I hear some of these people that talk about like, oh yeah, I got a girlfriend over in X location, right? You like let's call it like Salvador or something crazy, and they're like, yeah, we've been dating for a little while. I'm like, oh, cool, nice. Like, have you guys met in person? No. Well, how'd you guys meet?
Yeah.
Facebook. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
like she
that's-
asked me to send her money, and I do. It's like, what, bro? Like, come on, man.
I guess there's a lot of naive people.
It's like people that are like
This is
either
the
naive
reason
or
why
lonely.
This is the reason why I'm dealing with this aggravation because of people like that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, come on, seriously.
Dude, yeah, no, it's hilarious. I don't know.
You could go off. Oh god.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's been kind of an interesting week for me like going through this kind of scammer thing, and I'm like one good thing and one just really frustrating. And I didn't get burned, but I'm like, it's just annoying. Like I'm getting all my my instant messaging thing's dinging, and I'm like, oh my god, would you just look at this crap?
Yeah, no.
So I immediately, I've sold bikes, like bicycles, and I've sold stuff on Facebook, and I've had no problems.
Can you set it
It's
to proximity?
Yes,
Or no?
I think so. I think so.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. That's probably
That
the
might
next
because
step.
I did.
Yeah.
I did just sort of put it into. I dumped it into the iPad, whatever category it was, and I'm like I said, as soon as I put it up, like within seconds, I'm getting all these automated, and I know they're automated, so that may have eliminated it.
I don't know. Have you seen though? There's like a giant survey list trying to cancel Joe Rogan right now.
Oh come on, please!
You can't cancel that guy, huh?
Well, it's Wokotopia, so I mean, come on, Jesus Christ, that's ridiculous.
No, I saw it. I only saw it briefly, but it was like, I don't want to get the numbers wrong, but it was like 1,200 quote unquote MDs or doctors with degrees are trying to cancel them. But then
it was only like 100.
Oh, was it 100? Okay.
And if you look at
into
it, like
they're not real people.
they're not like they're either not real or they're not real doctors
Yeah.
or they're they have a PhD but they're not a practicing medical doctor.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the
And it's
canceling
like-
culture
so
is
even
getting
if it was
canceled
1,000,
like
right?
slowly though. Like,
Even if
over
it was
time.
1,000 doctors, right? That guy's got an 11 million audience on each of his podcasts, right? 11 million. That's-
And shout out to Spotify. They're not American company, so they're not going to crack under pressure of like.
they're not an American company?
I don't think so.
Oh, interesting.
But they're not going to crack under the pressure of like, oh, we're going to take away your sponsors. Like, they don't care. Like, they're Spotify.
I'm sure, look, they're a technology company, so I'm guessing that they are sensitive to this kind of thing, but they're paying the guy $100 million.
they're going to protect their asset.
So guess what? They're, money talks, Wokotopia walks, right? That's the only reason they're
gonna
still
protect-
on because he's got $100 million contract that he's probably only a quarter of the way into.
If they kick him off, he still gets paid.
He
that
gets
whole
paid
amount.
that whole $100 million, I guarantee
regardless, right?
Because I'm
Yeah.
sure,
Well, they knew what they
going
were
in, he
signing.
knew that this was a potential. So I don't know, but I'm assuming his contract had some guarantees built into it. So that's the reason why Spotify is not caving. Because
I mean, especially if you're someone like that or even Howard Stern, or who has these talks.
So that dude's turning into a major tool.
Who?
Stern. I mean,
Well, really? I don't really.
so
pay
I don't
attention.
listen to him anymore, but I keep catching all these things where he's just going off on people who are not the whole vaccination
Okay.
thing, and he's always been a hypochondriac, right? So
Yeah.
I kind of get it, but he's like,
Yeah, but anyway, we'll get back to that in a second. But these guys who have these platforms for years on end, they're 1,400 episodes in, and we're only 13 episodes in, where that's 13 hours essentially. You're talking about someone who has a catalog of like 1,500 hours or more probably, because he does like 3-hour episodes. So do 3 times 14. There's some lines that you're going to be, or some gray areas that you're going to be stepping on. But back to that, yeah, you got to be careful with that. I saw like the Carhartt CEO is like firing people who are not vaccinated.
So I want the Carhartt thing's another thing that just I actually was going off about that. I'm like, so you have a CEO of a company who clearly
What's their demographic, Joe?
doesn't understand his demographic. I'd fire that. I swear to Christ, if I was a stockholder, a major stockholder, I'd ask for that guy's head.
Yeah, literally.
Like, you do not know your customer at all.
If you ask
He
anybody-
clearly is in the clouds. That guy doesn't know his customer at all.
You think Carhartt, this is not even a stereotype. You're thinking like working class, someone who's like,
yeah, so I mean,
more
for those that don't know,
conservative,
Carhartt is a working man's clothing line,
Exactly.
right? It's the overalls, it's the guys who are out in the cold today, and when it's 20 degrees out, working their asses off, they wear Carhartt.
Exactly.
Right, and this is
Carhartt and Levi.
right. This is not an audience that
is
whatever. I mean, I'm like,
It's one of those things where you have to pick your battles, and this is a situation where it's just kind of like unnecessary. I
I
know
saw it and I was just like, you got to be kidding me.
'Cause
This
I
guy
think
does
Nike-
not know his demographic.
Nike tried to do the same thing, or they did do the same thing.
Even Starbucks just backpedaled. I mean, so Starbucks Starbucks was following the Biden mandate for having to be vaccinated, and then as soon as the Supreme Court struck it down, they were like, okay, if you work at Starbucks, you do not need to be vaccinated anymore.
Oh, really?
Right.
Okay.
And of course,
and think of like Starbucks.
so I mean, again, they're taking a hit, which they probably expected, right? Because their audience is more in tune with that, right? But so you see people going, I'm not going to Starbucks ever again. I'm like,
That is actually
come
hilarious. So Starbucks is
Yes.
following. That's actually
it was a complete flip.
Because you think of people who are working at Starbucks, you're thinking more like tattoos, kind of
Right.
like free.
Yeah, so the
open-minded
Starbucks
people.
CEO should go to Carhartt, and the Carhartt CEO should go to Starbucks. It would probably be a much happier world.
Well, because it's expected.
Holy
It's just like
mackerel.
it's just like one of those things where you got to have these. You kind of get let down with the expectations. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Oh man, that's hilarious. But
But
no,
yeah, the Carhartt thing I was just like, oh my God.
yeah, no, I didn't really hear of too many companies doing that. Actually, I mean, I would be surprised nowadays if people are kind of going with that stance. I don't know. Is that like a thing? I mean, is your company doing anything like that?
I don't think it's not mandatory. Actually, so it's kind of weird if like in a traveling position, in order to travel, you have to be vaccinated.
Okay, yeah, well, that makes sense.
But no one's ever, so if you don't want to get vaccinated, you just don't travel. And they're not holding a gun to anybody's head to say you have to travel, right?
Yeah.
But that was the only rule. So I guess it's kind of a pseudo sort of deal.
How about, this is the thing, how about like for like Natalie's college, because I know Taylor's is a private school, and I think a private college, I think they require it to be on campus.
Yeah, same with
Same
now.
with now.
Yeah, she has to be vaccinated, she has to be boosted, and she has to wear a
N95.
they highly recommend wearing a K95 mask. I'm like, oh God, come on.
Now, that's an interesting conversation in itself. What do you do if you're in that situation? And you're someone who doesn't want to get a vaccine, but you also want to go to college? Is there an online course for you at that specific school? Because it's not as simple as, just go to a different school, or go to a different
I mean,
like how do you combat that problem?
I don't know whether or not they are allowing alternative online. I would imagine they might.
Dude, that's like crazy to think.
So I mean, this kind of gets into the whole thing about where do you draw the line in the sand for standing up for what you believe in, right? And the reality is if we do it as individuals, it's very difficult. It has to be done
like in unison.
It has to be done in the mass, right? I mean, the workforce thing is a perfect example, right? If my company tomorrow says you have to be vaccinated and I don't believe in vaccinations, I got to feed a family of 4, right?
Yeah.
I got to pay
Kinda bite that
bills.
bullet.
I have to pay for this house, right? So I can't, I don't, as much as I'd like to tell them to go F off, I'm not in a position to be able to do that, right?
Absolutely.
That's why, guys like Rogan and stuff are great because they can
They
say
can-
whatever the hell they want and they
Stand on their
truly
guns.
don't care, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of the line, right? And people need to recognize that. But it's
I don't know
it's
what
a
to
tough
do.
call, right?
Yeah, I mean, public university for us, they obviously really encourage it. They don't ask us to they offered incentives if you upload your vaccination card. I think it was maybe $500 to $1,000 or something.
Discount? Oh, okay.
Like a scholarship or something. I guess if you did it. But yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things where it's a tough thing because everyone wants to say, oh yeah, just go to a different school or just don't get it,
not that
boycott.
easy.
It's all right, yeah, like you said, you have responsibilities, you have obligations. You can't just do it. And for the record, I got the booster. Feel perfectly fine. Not turning into a zombie quite yet.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I mean, I'm not boosted.
Yeah.
I got the original J&J, and I don't think I'll ever get another one ever again. So
Yeah, I don't know. People are saying this is going to go to the end of time. But before we get canceled, we should.
I think all they'll do is just flag us with a little thing that says COVID information. Go to Facebook for the real info. Yeah. Okay. Whatever.
Yeah. But I really don't have any additional comment on that.
It's one of the. Yeah, I love these topics.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what Natalie would. So, I mean, it's because I said, what does it say what the repercussions are if you don't do all this? Because she has to. I think she had to submit it, and so they're asking for proof, and I'm like, well, if you don't submit it, are they going to kick you out of school? And nobody wants to go through that hassle, right?
Yeah.
So,
especially if you're in college, you're supposed to be quote unquote the best years. You know what I mean? You want to have that college experience, and we kind of got stripped of a year and a half already. So you want to kind of be back on campus.
Oh God, someone was playing an interview of this. I think she was from the UK. It was a kid, a high schooler, and she was in tears, going, the government's kind of ruined our youth. And the bottom line was, she was like, we have to go to school wearing masks. We can't do any extracurricular activities because of this. And she goes, we're an audience that doesn't die from this, right? The stats say it. And I'm pretty sure I can say that, right? The stats say that, the younger kids don't get it. And she's like, but, I can go to a football game with 80,000 people and I don't need to wear a mask. Like, what is the deal here?
And all right, this is the last thing I'm going to say on it. But I think that them changing it from 14 to 10 to now 5 is kind of like a mixed signal in itself. Like, why such the crazy change? Like, I get it. Like, the first 1 to 2 days is when you're most.
This is going to get political.
Yeah, but
because it's a political situation. Anyway,
yeah, but I'm just saying, it doesn't make sense. Like, you should
does.
quarantine until you.
You're looking at it as a logical person.
Oh,
there's nothing logical about any of this bullshit.
Oh, okay. So I was just trying to understand, what the until
all,
you're not sick.
It's all about control. End the story.
Okay, all right. Anyway, before we get canceled, so yeah, I don't know. I think that's about it.
I'm not a medical doctor, and
not a
financial.
Dave. No financial advice over here, man.
We're not sure exactly what we do, other than just get on a podcast and just talk crap.
I know. Literally.
We are not medical docors. We are not medical professionals. We're not financial advisors. We're really nothing.
I forgot. Yeah, I forgot.
Not lawyers.
Last little thing before we go. I forgot if I brought this up last week. You'll have to remind me. Yeah. So I got on the phone with them, and this was the fifth. Did I say the fifth interview already? Did I already say this on the podcast? They said that I'll have to
Oh, no. I don't think we've talked about it in a while.
Yeah. So this is the fifth time, and now it's official. If so they're gonna give me an answer soon. Pretty, almost 100%. But I'm gonna have to move regardless. So if I do get this specific position, they changed it so I'm no longer at the internship position. It would be a
legit. Right out of the gate, go.
Yeah, because internship position was for juniors, not seniors. So they're like, all right, well, we want you to still be in that same sales position, but you're not going to be at the internship level. It's going to be called a community project development or something in that that realm. I'll have to give you the exact title. But they were like, yeah, are you open to move? Because we're really looking for people to move. And they were just saying like, that's kind of how it's going to go. Like, so this is how it's going to go. June to boom.
So specific location or choice?
When the time comes, they'll give me 3 options. But they're just looking for people who have either A, quit, got fired, or on maternity leave or some jazz. So it's like when the training's done, they'll give you like a time, like, all right, 2 weeks or 2 months before. You could either go Texas, Florida, Arizona. I think they said was like the 3 main locations. And then they said like after that, it's just kind of like the Wild West. Like someone wanted to go to like, or someone didn't want to go to like Minnesota, but they were like, hey, like we have a position there. Do you want to go? I'm like, dude, I'm not going to Minnesota.
Yeah, nobody wants to go to Minnesota.
F that, man.
Well, I take that back. Minnesota. Well, if you don't have to go to Minneapolis,
I don't have any family there.
Yeah, well, you don't have any family in Florida or Texas either. But
just
something
more like
about
luxurious.
that's a little bit more. Yeah, go figure, right? It's
a little bit more like you're kind of you know, all you got to worry about is scorpions, I guess, in Texas or something.
Rattlesnakes.
Yeah, but yeah, so I don't know. I'll keep you guys posted, I guess, throughout that whole thing. But yeah, it's
welcome to life.
I'm hoping, man. I'm just ready to get out of here. Get this, not here particularly, but here as in college. You know, I'm ready to pay off some debt, become a working man, get a white picket fence.
There you go. Dog.
Golden retriever. 2
kids and a wife. Perfect.
Yeah, no, I'm not looking forward to it. But yeah, I mean that's all I got for today. I don't know. Do you have anything? We got to do some updates on the clothing soon. We got to talk more about that. I know we wanted to kind of switch the gears.
We've been so focused on doing this, we haven't really done much with the clothes.
I know we kind of wanted to do more like the outdoorsy type motor cross.
Well, yeah, I mean just kind of the outdoor technical fabrics and stuff like that I think would be cool.
I feel like a lot of people would like that.
Yeah. No, I mean, we'll have to dip our toe into that. But we got to get back to that because it's
been a couple months.
I guess it has only been a couple of months. Yeah. It feels like it's been forever. Like, I guess we were shipping stuff in November, but it's
back on the horse. We'll have to.
What the hell happened with the T-shirts?
Still in my house.
Okay.
Oh well, I guess yeah. We got to put them
so
out.
They're in your house.
It's chilling. Yeah, we gotta figure out like a drop for that. I mean, I don't know. We could drop them anytime. They're ready. I mean,
so what are we making? So we're selling T-shirts with a dust coating. That's our claim to fame.
No, they're clean.
The dust tee.
They're kept in a box, very clean. You know, check them every once in a while. Look at them, make sure they're still there. No, but we'll figure out a drop. We just wanted to make sure we rolled it out correctly. I didn't know if we were gonna do like a single drop with that, or if we were gonna have
something. Okay,
couple things with that. I know. I was looking at All right, we're just rambling at this point, but I was looking at like maybe like do something like special for like the people who's been with us for a while. Look at like candles or something.
I mean, I don't know if we want to talk about it on the air, but that was kind of the idea around the NFT to test the waters on that is to have. I was kind of looking. It was just honestly, it's kind of copying, I think, what that Gary V guy was talking about doing, sort of where you
just put it out and then figure it out.
Like we do an NFT with like 50 Founders Club members, and they all get a special, hoodie or tee as part of their thing, and like they get each year we'll give them a limited edition T-shirt. So there's like there's a whole thing, but it's limited to those 50 people, and maybe we do.
That sounds like a good idea. Or we could do like a year thing. You know how he did the VCon for 3 years? Like, all right, if you buy this pass once a year, you get shipped an item every month. Or
right? Something. Yeah, I could do that too. And I was also thinking we could do. I was kind of thinking, again, everybody's kind of doing the exact same thing, so it's like not really originality. But the avatar thing, I was like, we could take the blue smiley face and kind of do some modifications to it and have like 50 of those, 50 different versions of the traits. Smiley face so you could have an Exclusive Minds avatar. And I'm like, but then it was like, I don't know. I kind of the whole crypto and the whole NFT thing, I sort of go in and out of with excitement, and then I'm like, well. Everybody's doing that.
Can I tell you, like, I could tell you this before we leave. It's the thing that, besides the popularity between something, and the rarest trait I guess you could find in like just like a human being in general is like just consistency. If we're constant with it and we're keeping these patterns and we're consistent, like years to come, we're not just like, all right, let's just do it for a couple months and then just kind of like pull the rug on everyone that has the token. It's going to work. Like, I feel like it's going to work regardless. Like, if we have something where if you buy our NFT and you kind of hold it, there's actually going to be perks behind it. We're not just going to drop it after a couple months. We'll make sure to send you something by X date at every,
Yeah, no, and
milestone.
that's why I was trying to.
Yeah.
The way I was viewing it was having built-in
Yeah.
deliverables that are further
Like a
out than that
roadmap.
initial purchase. Right, that's incredibly important in my opinion.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. And I
it's
feel like me
not-
and you both have that like consistency mentality where we're
Yeah.
not just gonna like, all right, this is it. Like we've been doing this for 13 weeks now or whatever. So like we definitely have some form of consistency that upon us, even though we put out drops, seasonally or whatever. I feel like with that, if we kind of set something, we're like, all right, we're going to meet these deadlines at these dates, people are going to buy it because they know we're going to hit that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a
that
bunch
mark.
of ways we could do it. I mean, like even with the hoodies, right? If for launching the hoodies in a black and a white, we could
Yeah.
offer up to
Like a
these
blue.
NFT holders, here are 3 additional colors that only
You have
our
options of-
NFT holders have access to. So if you want to kind of stand out from the crowd,
Yeah.
here's your chance, right?
That'd be pretty cool.
You want a turquoise one, you want whatever it is, So yeah, I think there's some things we can do there. We just have to kind of sit down.
I feel like, and with this whole thing with Coinbase now opening up for the general public, it'll definitely bring our market because everyone buys stuff on our website with a credit card or PayPal. So if they could do it with a card or something where they don't have to pay $1,000 in gas fees, they'll be more than a success.
I mean, the one thing I don't know is I don't know if you know is how do you actually do an NFT? Like,
So
I mean, we
for
can get
us-
Marcus on because I know he's done it, right?
Yeah, I would
But,
love to have Marcus on. We were gonna have Marcus, and then we were in talks with the Tiger people to get them on. Maybe they could enlighten us. But so basically, all it is we just come up with like a graphic, and then put the graphic on OpenSea. But you have to like kind of like code it a little bit, like get like a smart contract. It's not as difficult as you think it is. It's relatively easy. You put it up, and then for those people that have it on our website, we could have like a thing where they have to kind of like confirm that they have it and they could get access to it, if that makes sense. Yeah, it could be a little complex, but I think it would be easier if we kind of talked about it and understood it a little bit better from someone that
and this goes to the point where I was like, I learn better by doing versus
yeah, exactly, getting your foot in
us
the door.
just kind of constantly
Yeah.
talking about it. And this was, this was sort of the way to maybe do it. Let's try something that's kind of small and tight to the audience and rewards them. And it's not really too far of a stretch for what we could deliver anyway. But so I mean, we should probably try and target doing that sometime in the next couple months.
That'd be pretty sick. Yeah, I'll be down for it. Sweet.
Cool.
All right, well, episode 13 in the books. I thought this was a really good one.
Yeah,
really
yeah.
good one.
Absolutely.
I liked it. I think we should do more styles where we kind of provide information. That was that was kind of like a different aspect of the podcast. Like, I don't know.
And it wasn't
something.
too crypto heavy, a
Yeah,
little bit,
like-
just a little. We're
We
starting
have to kind of get back to our roots. The crypto is always the roots. We gotta just sprinkle
like
it
our
upon.
portfolio. We're starting to wean away from it. It's fading.
Yeah, right. No, for sure. But I hope everyone enjoyed. Make sure to share, follow. What's the
Yes. Share, like, leave a review. We were actually I didn't see the Spotify numbers because Spotify's kind of weird. But Chris, we're even getting views on Rumble, which is like, whoa,
Are we really?
Yeah, I mean,
Who
not
the
a
heck
lot.
has
But
Rumble?
I don't know.
Shout out to the Rumble people. I'm not dissing you. I just never heard of it. So shout out to y'all.
yeah.
Man.
So I mean, we're starting to get some more people.
Sweet.
Yeah, YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, Anchor, and Apple Podcasts. So
Awesome.
find us, like us on all of them, even if you're only listening on one, and share.
And make sure to tag us. If you do share it on Twitter or Instagram, tag the team account, which is EXMNDS on Instagram and Twitter, and I think Facebook as well.
No, Facebook is exclusive. I think it's exclusive. Well, maybe it isn't. Oh boy.
Yeah,
Sorry.
just no, good. Just find us on Facebook. Whatever you share it on, just tag us, and if you tag us, we'll maybe have to do like a giveaway or something. Maybe like, I don't know, every couple episodes we give away like a T-shirt.
Yeah, we should start doing that because we do have a few things we can do.
Yeah, so we could.
that's not a
So
bad idea.
if you share, if you're still listening to the end of this, share it on something and tag us, and we'll put your name in a generator and give it away.
Absolutely.
Okay, fantastic. All right, everyone.
Take care.
See ya.
Thanks.
Yeah. Let me drop exclusive game from my exclusive mind. You be out here chasing fame, I stay steady on my grind. Zero diamonds, zero chains, from my brain is where I shine. Hit you with them good lyrics, I ain't writing and I'm dying, and right now I'm alive, so check it. I reckon I shouldn't cuss on this record, I don't cuss on them often because I'm applying pressure. Grab that fire grind, zero diamonds, zero chains, from my brain is where I shine. Hit you with them good lyrics, I ain't writing and I'm dying, and right now I'm alive, so check it. I reckon I shouldn't cuss on this record, I don't cuss on them often because I'm applying pressure. Grab that fire from my dresser, EXM who does it better, no, I won't let up. Gas pedal fully pressed, I do the dash to the checks. If it ain't assets, I'm never stressed. I keep it calm and collect. Most of y'all stuck in some debt, and you got bad credit. I learned my lesson, I was young and foolish, now I'm better. I kept my head up through the stormiest weather. Wipe my eyes and focused on where I'm headed. We call that constant progression. If we in Vegas and the option is betting on me, you know we cashing out to the teller. Now let me switch my endeavor, change up my whole approach. Let's have a toast to those who do the most. Achieving goals on the road to their dreams, on the path to the cream, counting stacks with their team, living lavishly, but still actively aware that they can be a casualty, so they don't lack humility and they don't dabble with degree. Yes, they focused on the plan ahead. They know impact will lead to bread, and the bread equals success and less frets. Got some things to accomplish. When someone hits my line, it's not about some nonsense. We making moves, always grinding, we popping. You know we not gonna stop, and never no option but time, and the perfect time is right now. Not caught up in tomorrow. I'm all about making a conscious decision while I'm living. Make a choice, then I'm committed to that vision. I pivot if necessary. It's scary when you get caught in a position that isn't hitting you down bad because you're persistent in the wrong direction. Just learn your lesson, you gotta check it. Audit you and keep on getting better. That's the motive, that's the method, and I'm headed further than I ever thought I could make it. I wouldn't stop unless my pulse flat lines like the doctor lost his patience.